Unbelievable effort from the guys.
Give us an idea of the way the odds were stacked against them. Down to 14 men, not just down to 14 men, the captain off, Warburton off.
Yeah, we lost our captain, we lost our tight head prop, Adam, world class tight head prop, and Adam Jones. And boys just did what they've done all tournament. They just rolled their sleeves up, didn't feel sorry for themselves, and just produced one of the best performances I think I've seen from the Welsh side.
Okay, more from Lawrence and Francois in a moment. Let's hear from Gethin Jenkins right now.
Well, Gethin, obvious disappointment, but an outstanding, courageous performance from the Welsh side.
Yeah, it was always going to be tough, after the sending off, but we gave our all right up until the end, and just disappointed that we come off on the losing side.
To lose Sam and to lose Adam, it was always epitomised, though, the spirit of this side and also the future of Welsh rugby.
Yeah, it changed the game a bit, when Sam went off and we had to play a different style of rugby, and fair play to the French, they held us out for the full 80. We work on what went wrong, and like we said, we've got a young side going forward and build on it for the future.
You guys have been a credit to your country, and we've appreciated everything you've done here in New Zealand.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the fans that have followed us out here, and the 60-odd thousand back in the stadium back home. The boys are really chuffed for the support, and we couldn't get to the final, really.
Thanks for your time, Gethin.
Lawrence, you really can't believe how close Wales came in that.
It was a phenomenal effort. Falatau, I thought, up front, just put in so much work, epitomised the spirit that they showed once they went down to 14 men, and they could have won it at the end there. In fact, they missed 8 points, 2 kicks from James Hook and 1 conversion that was desperately close from Stephen Jones. So 8 points in a game as close as this, and France did what they had to do. They shut the game out, but they offered very little in attack, and it's so near yet but so far for Wales. It's desperately disappointing.
And they're getting a standing ovation around the Eden Park Stadium from the neutrals, the Welsh fans, and the French as well, who go into the World Cup final in far from convincing fashion.
They've been, dare I say, the worst team at this World Cup, and they're playing in the final. They looked out on their feet in the last 15 minutes. They just hung in there. They didn't attack. They didn't show any invention in the second half. They started well in the second half, and I thought, okay, fine. They're going to take Wales out because they've been playing with 14 men. Up front, they attacked them in the scrum, but there was just no inventiveness. So, and in the final, they've lost 2 games. It's quite bizarre. A team that have lost 2 games in the pool stages will be contesting for the 2011 Rugby World Cup final.
And the bravest team of all going to the third place playoff. Let's hear from the Welsh coach, Warren Gatland.
Well, Getty, obviously disappointment for you, but seemed to be that first half losing Sam and also Adam Jones.
I just feel like the destiny of the result was sort of taken out of our hands with the red card. I can understand he's lifted him, that's a yellow card, but he's let him go. He hasn't driven his head into the ground, so does that mean from now on every time there's a tackle made and you lift someone it's got to be a red card? I just feel gutted. He's not a dirty player. He's such a great player. Why spoil a World Cup semi-final by giving a red card? I think he's absolutely gutted about it. But in saying that, France have won. I thought our players showed great character. But a couple of shots of goal we had nailed. We might have won the game. But to be down to 40 men against a world-class opposition and have a chance to win, it just shows what sort of character our players have got. So from that point of view, I'm really, really proud of our boys.
Huge character, but the future of Welsh rugby is looking very bright.
Yeah, just some good youngsters, but we can't. You just can't come to one tournament and do well. We've got to go and kick on from here, and hopefully get an opportunity to spend a bit more time with these players. But we've represented Wales well, and we just feel. I just feel personally let down because I just think this team was good enough to go on next week and make the final. But that's not to be, and you got to just take it on the chin, and. But as I said, I just feel like I feel empty because I just feel like. We just didn't, like I said, that result wasn't in our control in the end.
Okay, thanks for your time, Warren.
Cheers, Keith, thanks.
And clearly the view in the coach's box and the view from those hugely disappointed Welsh players is exactly the one that we shared at half-time, that they feel, well, if you can use the word, cheated by that refereeing decision. It just was not a sending off. And the odds from that point on were completely stacked against those brave players.
They were, and I thought Warren Gatland was, spoke very calmly there. He's obviously completely devastated, and
Huge respect for him, Lawrence.
Said,
huge respect.
Yeah.
He brought this team into the World Cup. I think they're the fittest.
Yeah.
If bar maybe one other team, I think they've looked the fittest. They've played inventive rugby. They've excited the crowd here. They've won the hearts of people here. I'm a big supporter now, just because they gave it their all, and it was unfair.
Let's have another look at the tackle. Can we try and find any justification for Alan Ronald's decision at all?
No.
I think, like we said half time, it's just such a great hit. And the momentum is flicked in, but
I mean, if we compare that to what we've seen in the World Cup, so far in some of these other games, I mean, let's just have a little look at it now. He lifts him up, realises he's going over and tipping him over, and he drops it. And as Warren Gatland said, it's a yellow card at best.
At best, a yellow card at best, fine, a penalty. But it's the World Cup semi-final. These teams have worked for months on end to get themselves into shape, and it's a physical game. This, rugby, I always say rugby is not a contact sport, dancing is a contact sport. Rugby is a collision, and you've got to manage those collisions. So it was a great hit, boom, okay, I was naughty, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. It was not as if I meant that. I didn't go in smashing a guy trying to hurt him. I got myself into a position, I made a really good tackle.
I think of all players as well, Sam is the cleanest player, a very physical player, one of the cleanest players you'll ever come across, and for that to happen to him, I can't believe it.
For it to be a sending off, you have to look for malice in a tackle.
Well, you do, and he would have had to plant his head in the ground. But the other thing is, if the referee Alan Roland gives him a yellow card, if after the game there's a citing procedure and the citing commissioner feels that the yellow card wasn't strong enough, then they can take action. But don't ruin the semi-final straight away by something which is, if we see the game, Tonga France, that was a tackle, and I think it resulted in a yellow card for that player. Here's another one. I think that looked worse to me.
That's worse.
I don't even think there was might have been a penalty there. I mean, now we compare this with this tackle, and again, guys, it's the semi-final of the biggest day in the Welsh team's lives. They are really superbly fit. They got a great captain. He's been enormous throughout this whole tournament. Great fan of him. He's 22 years old, and to take that decision without actually maybe consulting with the line judges, or maybe just going to the video referee, in the semi-final or a final of a Rugby World Cup. Surely, when you make a red card decision, you've got to be 100% sure that it's a red card decision. Why don't you use technology and advice? Because you might have not been clearly cited. All those sort of things play a role.
Quite clear, with Warburton they'd have won it.
Absolutely. I mean, even without him and without Adam Jones, they 8 points, from the kicks, and they could have won that. But I just felt that, he's played so well throughout this World Cup. He's led,
outstanding,
and I think they would have won comfortably.
Yeah. Well, the Welsh fans here, they're starting to drift away. They're starting to drift away. They're absorbing the disappointment. We will continue to analyse the events that we've seen here over the course of the last 80 minutes. The Welsh players devastated, gave absolutely everything. We will analyse the good and the bad of this World Cup semi-final, and there was a great deal of good from the Welsh point of view, all in a couple of minutes. France are through to the World Cup final, beating a brave Wales by just a single point in controversial circumstances, as we've been discussing here in the studio with the sending off of Sam Warburton. So French delight and Welsh frustration has all been reflected in the last 15 minutes or so. Let's hear from the French camp and hear from their captain Thierry Dusautoir.
Well, Terry, 24 years the French were here in a grand final. Congratulations, France. Back at Eden Park next Sunday.
Thanks a lot. We are really happy to be in final tonight. I know it was a very tough game for us, but we're going to play a Rugby World Cup final, so we're really happy.
You met a very tough Welsh side tonight, and just you kept on putting that pressure on, that traditional French pressure.
Yeah, today we won thanks to our defense. We didn't play so well rugby, but we defend well, and we play with our heart. So maybe not many talents, but a lot of heart.
You've got another week. You must be an outstanding grand final. Looking forward to next week.
Sorry?
Grand final next week must be very exciting.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win tomorrow, but we're quite happy to be there next week.
Well done.
Thank you.
What were the things you felt France got right tonight? Tactically, when they were playing against 14 men, they were on top of things.
Well, they certainly just put the pressure on through the set piece, the scrum. I think Wales really struggled to get anything clean off the base of the scrum, and the lineouts. They just put the pressure on Wales. I think Harry Nordique, Bonaire, Dusatoir tackled, their hearts out as well, and just it's a lot easier when you know that Wales are under pressure. They're down to 14 men and they're chasing the game. But I have to say, France made it hard work. If you're in the...
They did. Yeah, I thought they would take them out in the second half, because they actually attacked them in the tight phases, in the scrums and the line-out drives. But in the second half, when I looked at it, I thought, because they're not fit, that's why they're not attacking them. So they're hanging in there, and Wales were doing all the playing. And to be fair to the French, it's not their fault that Warburton got a red card. So I almost got cross with the French and saying, I'm angry with these guys because it shouldn't have been a red card. It's not their fault.
He looked a bit sheepish. They almost apologised. Sorry, we're in the final, but it was not their fault.
And they had a couple of nice breaks. Parra went through 2 nice holes, but he couldn't find the outside support. So they looked like scoring tries in the first half. In the second half, I just thought, listen, let's just close the game down and let's not give Wales any chance.
Yeah, but what they certainly didn't want, the French, was to see that Welsh spirit rekindled in the last 20 minutes. And Mike Phillips' try absolutely electrified.
Yeah, it's typical of Mike, big occasion. He's outstanding again today, and I think this is his trademark right-hand fender. I think we keep in the ball. We're so comfortable with the ball. The contact area is so efficient. And he sees a sniff and he's gone, It's a class try.
He just picks the 2-second rows there, doesn't he? And I think Nale comes up quick.
Leaves that gap.
Faletau has been, we agree, Faletau, man of the match, also took the ball up really well. Every time he touched the ball, he went over the advantage line.
Yeah.
And what Phillips does well here, he picks up Nale and he picks up Pape, the 2 locks. Yeah. And he fends really big handoff and turn off pace.
Well, just Nale over chases and just leaves Pape, his second row partner, a little bit too much to do. And Phillips, he produced that little moment in the quarter-final against Ireland, the try in the corner, and I thought he'd really given Wales a bit of hope there, and the conversion after this one, Stephen Jones, was absolutely crucial.
You don't want to do a long list of what-ifs, but this would have put Wales in the World Cup final.
That's it, that kick, one kick, and it hit the post, and unfortunately, it went to the outside and not the inside.
Lee Halfpenny from just about the halfway line. You fancied him for it?
Yeah, when he was lining up, the one thing you thought it wouldn't be short. He's got such a long boot, and you thought accuracy may be a question. But you can't put that down to Lee's kick. I thought he was superb as well, along with Faletau. The two of them were our best players. But it was just it was that kind of just short. And the boys deserved so much more than just to be brave losers. I thought they were outstanding. Yeah,
there were players who really rose to the occasion in the absence of Sam Warburton, and Faletau in particular.
Faletau, I mean, to be honest, the whole Welsh team, I felt, because you've got to understand, to play 14 men for such a long time, over an hour. I just thought they were magnificent. But when it comes down to it, they just didn't quite have that composure right at the end to get the drop goal, or just to get the crucial points that they needed to get over the line. And they'll reflect on that. I mean, I'm sure they won't be blaming the sending off. They think we could have had an opportunity to win the game, either with a Stephen Jones drop goal or perhaps even the penalty at the end there, which was a dubious decision.
And Warren Gatland showed how shrewd he was, because he brought on Jones, because he realised that there must be an opportunity for him to drop the goal, and also put Wales on the front foot. And they had 1 or 2 opportunities. Unfortunately, they didn't take it.
Yeah, France through to their great relief. Let's get more French reaction now from Dimitri Yashvili.
Well, Dimitri, many congratulations into the World Cup final. Does it feel slightly hollow, the victory today?
Yeah, we feel, first of all, very proud, because we start this competition very badly. But we are proud because there is a team spirit in the French team. We are proud for our family, for all the staff, for all our French supporters who came here, because they were very sad after the Tonga game. So we didn't play our best rugby tonight, but we won. So we are very proud and very happy.
Do you feel sorry for the Welsh, though? They took a lot of hard hits in that first half. The injury, first of Prop, and then the sending off of Warburton.
Yeah, but maybe it was written before. We know that Welsh maybe deserve also to win, because they play very well, because they had this injury, because they had a red card. But we won, so we can speak about everything. We won tonight, and we are very happy.
What does this mean to rugby in France, to you as individuals, but to rugby as a whole in France? It's had a tough time over the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's why we are very proud. We are very happy. We spent really hard weeks at the beginning of the competition. The French media were very hard with us, but it's normal. We didn't play very well, so I think we don't really realize that we are in World Cup final. in '87. They were in final. For us, those players are legends. But now it's us. We have 80 minutes to give all for our jersey.
New Zealand or Australia, who would you prefer to face?
For us, it's the same. It's the same. So the best win.
Congratulations, well done. Thanks for talking.
Yes, and we'll discuss that New Zealand-Australia semi-final in just a few minutes' time, getting a little bit leery down